Continuing the curious book, Mark Twain, Gracia said, "Why, Amelia, this untimely grief? What has caused the sorrows that bespeak better and happier days to thus lavish out such heaps of misery? You are aware that your instructive lessons embellish the mind with holy truths, by wedding its attention to none but great and noble affections." Amelia said, "This, of course, is some consolation. I will ever love my own species with feelings of a fond recollection, and while I am studying to advance the universal philanthropy and the spotless name of my own sex, I will try to build my own upon the pleasing belief that I have accelerated the advancement of one who whispers of departed confidence. And I like some poor peasant fated to reside remote from friends in a forest wide. Oh, see what woman's woes and human wants require, since that great day hath spread the seed of sinful fire." Gracia said, "Look up, thou poor disconsolate. You speak of quitting earthly enjoyments. Unfold thy bosom to a friend who would be willing to sacrifice every enjoyment for the restoration of that dignity and gentleness of mind which used to grace your walks, and which is so natural to yourself. Not only that, but your paths were strewed with flowers of every hue and of every order. With verdant green the mountains glow. For thee, the lilies grow, far stretched beneath the tinted hills. A fairer flower the valley fills." Amelia said, "Oh, would to heaven I could give you a short narrative of my former prospects of happiness. Since you have acknowledged to be an unchangeable confidant the riches of all other blessings. O ye names forever glorious, ye celebrated scenes, ye renowned spot on my hymeneal moments, how replete is your chart with sublime reflections! How many profound vows, decorated with immaculate deeds, are written upon the surface of that precious spot of earth where I yielded up my life of celibacy, bade youth with all its beauties a final adieu, took a last farewell of the laurels that had accompanied me up the hill of my juvenile career. It was then I began to descend toward the valley of disappointment and sorrow. It was then I cast my little bark upon a mysterious ocean of wedlock, with him who then smiled and caressed me, but alas, now frowns with bitterness, and has grown jealous and cold towards me, because the ring he gave me is misplaced or lost. Oh, bear me, ye flowers of memory, softly through the eventful history of past times, and ye places that have witnessed the progression of man in the circle of so many societies, and oh, aid my recollection while I endeavor to trace the vicissitudes of a life devoted in endeavoring to comfort him that I claim as the object of my wishes. Ah, ye mysterious men of all the world, how few act just to heaven and to your promise true! But he who guides the stars with a watchful eye, the deeds of men lay open without disguise. Oh, this alone will avenge the wrongs I bear, for all the oppressed are his peculiar care." Versilo makes a slight noise. Amelia said, "Who is there, Versilo?" Gracia said, "That I must be gone. Heaven protect you. Oh, Amelia, farewell. Be of good cheer. May you stand like Olympus's towers against earth and all jealous powers. May you with loud shouts ascend on high, swift as an eagle in the upper sky." Amelia said, "Why so cold and distant tonight, Versilo? Come, let us each other greet and forget all the past, and give security for the future." Versilo said, "Security? Talk to me about giving security for the future. What an insulting requisition. Have you said your prayers tonight, Madame Amelia?" Amelia said, "Versilo, we sometimes forget our duty, particularly when we expect to be caressed by others." Versilo said, If ye bethink yourself of any crime or of any fault that is yet concealed from the courts of heaven and the thrones of grace, I bid you ask and solicit forgiveness for it now. Amelia said, Oh, be kind, Farcillo. Don't treat me so. What do you mean by all this? Farcillo said, Be kind, you say, you, madame, have forgot that kindness you owe to me, and bestowed it upon another. You shall suffer for your conduct when you make your peace with God, with your God. I would not slay thy unprotected spirit. I call to heaven to be my guard and my watch. I would not kill thy soul, in which all wants seem just right and perfect. But I must be brief, woman. Amelia said, What talk you of killing? Oh, Farcillo, what is the matter? Farcillo said, I do, without doubt. Mark what I say, Amelia. Amelia said, Then, O God O heaven, and angels, be propitious, and have mercy upon me. Well, if the natural forces, the heaven is the metanomial, if God is the one who sets the rules for the unfallen angels in which they can't disobey, what sense does it make it praying to other than just God in that case? Same thing with earth, and if the laws of nature for the earth are directed by God, Farcillo said, Amen to that, madame, with all my heart, and with all my soul. Amelia said, Farcillo, listen to me, one moment. I hope you will not kill me. Farcillo said, Kill you? That I will, attest it, ye fair host of light, record it, ye dark imps of hell. Amelia said, Oh, I fear you, you are fatal when darkness covers your brow, yet I know not why I should fear, since I never wronged you in all my life. I stand, sir, guiltless before you. Farcillo said, You pretend to say you are guiltless. Think of thy sins, Amelia. Think, hidden woman, where have I not been true to you? Said Amelia. That death is unkind, cruel, and unnatural, that kills for loving. Farcillo said, Peace, and be still while I unfold to thee. Amelia said, I will, Farcillo. And while I am thus silent, tell me the cause of such cold cruelness in an hour like this, said Amelia. Farcillo said, That ring, oh, that ring I so loved, and gave thee as the ring of my heart, the allegiance you took to be faithful. When it was presented, the kisses and smiles which you honored it. You became tired of the donor, despised it as a plague, and finally gave it to Malus, the hidden, the vile traitor. Amelia said, No, upon my word and honor, I never did. I appeal to the Most High to bear me out in this matter. Send for Malus, and ask him. Farcillo said, Send for Malus? Malus you wish to see? I thought so. I knew you could not keep his name concealed. Amelia, sweet Amelia, take heed of perjury. You are on the stage of death to suffer for your sins. Amelia said, What? Not to die, I hope, my Farcillo, my ever-beloved. Farcillo said, Yes, madame, to die, a traitor's death. Shortly your spirit shall take its exit. Therefore confess freely thy sins, for to deny tends only to make me groan under the bitter cup thou hast made for me. Thou art to die with the name of a traitor upon thy brow. Amelia said, Then, O Lord, have mercy upon me, give me courage, give me grace and fortitude to stand this hour of trial. Farcillo said, Amen, I say, with all my heart. Amelia said, And oh, Farcillo, will you have mercy too? I never intentionally offended you in all my life, never loved Malus, and never gave him cause to think so, as the high court of justice will acquit me before its tribunal. O false, perjured woman, thou dost chill my blood and make me a demon like thyself. I saw the ring, said Farcillo. Amelia said, he found it, then, or got it clandestinely. Send for him, and let him confess the truth. Let his confession be sifted. Farcillo said, and you still wish to see him? I tell you, madame, he hath already confessed, and thou knowest the darkness of thy heart. Amelia said, what, my deceived Farcillo, that I gave him the ring in which all my affections were concentrated? Oh, surely not. Farcillo said, say, he did. Ask thy conscience, and I will speak with the voice of thunder to thy soul. Amelia said, he will not say so. He dare not. He cannot. Farcillo said, no. He will not say so now, because his mouth, I trust, is hushed in death, and his body stretched to the four winds of heaven, to be torn to pieces by carnivorous birds. Amelia said, what, is he dead, and gone to the world of spirits, with that declaration in his mouth? Oh, unhappy man. Oh, insupportable hour. Farcillo said, yes. And had all his sighs, and looks, and tears been lives, my great revenge could have slain them all, without the least condemnation. Amelia said, alas, he is ushered into eternity without testing the matter for which I am abused, and sentenced and condemned to die. Farcillo said, cursed infernal woman, weepest thou for him to my face? He that hath robbed me of my peace, my energy, my whole love of life. Could I call the fabled Hydra? I would have him live and perish, survive and die, until the sun itself would grow dim with age. I would make him have the thirst of a Tantalus, and roll the wheel of an Ixion, until the stars of heaven should quit their brilliant stations. Amelia said, O invincible God, save me. O unsupportable moment. O heavy hour. Banish me, Farcillo. Send me where no eye can ever see me, where no sound shall ever greet my ear. But, oh, slay me not, Farcillo. Vent thy rage and thy spite upon this emaciated frame of mine. Only spare my life. Farcillo said, your petitions avail nothing, cruel Amelia. Amelia said, O Farcillo, perpetrate the dark deed tomorrow. Let me live till then, for my past kindness to you, and it may be some kind angel will show you that I am not only the object of innocence, but one who never loved another but your noble self. Farcillo said, Amelia, the decree has gone forth, and it is to be done, and that quickly. Thou art to die, madame. Amelia said, but half an hour allow me to see my father and my only child, to tell her the treachery and vanity of this world. Farcillo said, there is no alternative. There is no pause. My daughter shall not see its deceptive mother die. Your father shall not know that his daughter fell disgraced, despised by all but her enchanting Malus. Amelia said, O Farcillo, put up thy threatening dagger into its scabbard. Let it rest and be still, just while I say one prayer for thee and for my child. Farcillo said, it is too late. Thy doom is fixed. Thou hast not confessed to heaven or to me, my child's protector. Thou art to die. Ye powers of earth and heaven, protect and defend me in this alone. And he stabs her while imploring for mercy. Amelia said, O Farcillo, Farcillo, a guiltless death I die. Farcillo said, die, die, die. And one important thing is that we shouldn't make accusations of which there's not proof. Just because it's a possible thing doesn't mean that we should go off and, make those accusations. Gracia enters running, falls on her knees, weeping, and kisses Amelia. Gracie says, O Farcillo, Farcillo, O Farcillo. Farcillo says, I am here, the genius of the age and the avenger of my wrongs. Gracie said, "O lady, speak once more, sweet Amelia. Oh, speak again. Gone, gone, yes, forever gone, Farcillo. Oh, cold-hearted Farcillo, some evil fiend hath urged you to do this, Farcillo." Well, it's still his choice, isn't it? Farcillo said, "Say not so again, or you shall receive the same fate. I did the glorious deed, madame. Beware, then, how you talk." Gracia said, "I fear not your implements of war. I will let you know you have not the power to do me harm. If you have a heart of triple brass, it shall be reached and melted, and thy blood shall chill thy veins and grow stiff in thy arteries. Here's the ring of the virtuous and innocent murdered Amelia. I obtained it from Malas, who yet lives, in hopes that he will survive the wound given him, and says he got it clandestinely," declares Amelia, "to be the princess of truth and virtue, invulnerable to anything like forgetting her first devotion to thee. The world has heard of your conduct and your jealousy, and with one universal voice declares her to be the best in all piety, that she is the star of this great universe, and a more virtuous woman never lived since the wheels of time began. Oh, had you waited till tomorrow, or until I had returned, some kind of window would have been opened to her relief. But alas, she is gone. Yes, forever gone, to try the realities of an unknown world." Farcillo, leaning over to the body of Amelia, says, "Malas not dead, and here is my ring. O Amelia, falsely murdered. O bloody deed, O wretched that I am. O angels, forgive me. O God, withhold thy vengeance. O Amelia, if heaven would make 1,000 words like this, set with diamonds, and all of one perfect chrysolite, I would not have done this for them all. I would not have frowned and cursed as I did. Oh, she was heavenly true, nursed in the very lap of bright angels. Cursed slave that I am, jealousy, oh, thou infernal demon, lost to every sense of honor. O Amelia, heaven-born Amelia, dead, oh, then let me die with thee. Farewell, farewell, ye world that deceived me." And he stabs himself, which spiritually doesn't make it any better, and then you're just dying like that and not dealing at all. Soon after the excitement of this tragical scene was over, and the enlisted feeling for Amelia had grown more buoyant with Alfonso and Ambilinia, he determined to visit his retired home and make the necessary improvements to enjoy a better day. Consequently, he conveyed the following lines to Ambilinia: "Go tell the world that hope is glowing. Go bid the rocks their silence break. Go tell the stars that love is glowing. Then bid the hero his lover take. In the regions where scarcely the foot of man hath ever trod, where the woodman hath not found his way, lies a blooming grove, seen only by the sun when he mounts his lofty throne, visited only by the light of the stars, to whom are entrusted the guardianship of earth before the sun sinks to rest in his rosy bed. High cliffs of rock surround the romantic place, and in the small cavity of the rock wall grows the daffodil, clear and pure, and as the wind blows along the enchanting little mountain which surrounds the lonely spot, it nourishes the flowers with the dewdrops of heaven. Here's the seat of Alfonso. Darkness claims but little victory over this dominion, and in vain does she spread out her gloomy wings. Here the waters flow perpetually, and the trees lash their tops together to bid the welcome visitor a happy muse. Alfonso, during his short stay in the country, had fully persuaded himself that it was his duty to bring this solemn matter to an issue, a duty that he individually owed as a gentleman to the parents of Ambilinia, a duty in itself involving not only his own happiness and his own standing in society, but one that called aloud the act of the parties to make it perfect and complete. How he should communicate his intentions to get a favorable reply, he was at a loss to know. He knew not whether to address Esquire Valier in prose or in poetry, in a jocular or an argumentative manner, or whether he should use moral suasion, legal injunction, or seize and take by reply, by rep, by rep, by rep, by reprisal, and if it was to do the latter, he would have no difficulty in deciding it in his own mind, but his gentlemanly honor was at stake, so he concluded to address the following letter to the father and mother of Ambilinia, as his address in person he knew would only aggravate the old gentleman and perhaps his lady. Coming, Georgia, January 22nd, 1844. Mr. and Mrs. Villiers, again I resume the pleasing task of addressing you, and once more beg an immediate answer to my many salutations. From every circumstance that has taken place, I feel in duty bound to comply with my obligations. To forfeit my word would be more than I dare do. To break my pledge and my vows that have been witnessed, sealed, and delivered in the presence of an unseen deity would be disgraceful on my part, as well as ruinous to Ambilinia. I wish no longer to be kept in suspense about this matter. I wish to act gentlemanly in every particular. It is true, the promises I have made are unknown to any but Ambilinia, and I think it unnecessary to here enumerate them, as they who promise the most generally perform the least. Can you for a moment doubt my sincerity or my character? My only wish is, sir, that you may calmly and dispassionately look at the situation of the case, and if your better judgment should dictate otherwise, my obligations may induce me to pluck the flower that you so diametrically opposed. We have sworn by the saints, by the gods of battle, and by the faith whereby just men are made perfect, to be united. I hope, my dear sir, you will find it convenient as well as agreeable to give me a favorable answer, with the signature of Miss Villiers, as well as yourself. With very great esteem, your humble servant, J.I. Alfonso. The moon and stars had grown pale when Ambilinia had retired to rest. A crowd of unpleasant thoughts passed through her bosom. Solitude dwelt in her chamber. No sound from the neighboring world penetrated its stillness. It appeared a temple of silence, of repose, and of mystery. At that moment she heard a still voice calling her father. In an instant, like the flash of lightning, a thought ran through her mind, that it must be the bearer of Alfonso's communication. It is not a dream, she said. No, I cannot read dreams. Oh, I would to heaven I was near that glowing eloquence, that poetical language. It charms the mind in an inexpressible manner, and warms the coldest heart. While consolating herself with this strain, her father rushed into her room, almost frantic with rage, exclaiming, "Oh, Ambilinia, Ambilinia, undutiful, ungrateful daughter, what does this mean? Why does this letter bear such heart-rending intelligence? Will you quit a father's house with this debased wretch, without a place to lay his distracted head, going up and down the country with every novel object that may chance to wander through this region?" Well, I guess it's the same false gods that would lead a person to wander in pursuit that would lead them to war. Perhaps not exactly the same list, but he's a pretty man to make love known to his superiors, and you, Ambilinia, have done but little credit to yourself by honoring his visits. Oh, wretchedness, can it be that my hopes of happiness are forever blasted? Will you not listen to a father's entreaties and pay some regard to a mother's tears? I know, and I do pray that God will give me fortitude to bear with this sea of troubles and rescue my daughter, my Ambilinia, as a brand from the eternal burning. Forgive me, father. Oh, forgive thy child, replied Ambilinia. My heart is ready to break when I see you in this grieved state of agitation. Oh, think not so meanly of me, as that I mourn for my own danger. Father, I am only woman. Mother, I am only the templement of thy youthful years, but will suffer courageously whatever punishment you think proper to inflict upon me. If you will but allow me to comply with my most sacred promises. If you will but give my personal right and my person liberty, O Father, if your generosity will but give me these, I ask none more. When Alfonso offered his heart, I gave him my hand, never to forsake him. And now may the mighty God banish me before I leave him in adversity. What a heart must I have to rejoice in prosperity with him whose offers I have accepted, and then, when poverty comes, haggard as it may be, for me to trifle with the oracles of heaven, and change with every fluctuation that may interrupt our happiness. Like the politician who runs the political gauntlet for office one day, and the next day, because the horizon is darkened a little, he is seen running for his life, for fear he might perish in its ruins. Now that's not quite the same thing as people saying, well, this guy supported or was actually a member of this political party, a candidate, and then switched to another one. Well, if he's still on the same work and accomplishing the same thing, or maybe even accomplishing more, all power to him, right? Well, not all power, but you know what I mean. Where is the philosophy? Where is the consistency? Where is the charity in conduct like this? Be happy then, my beloved Father, and forget me. Let the sorrow of parting break down the wall of separation and make us equal in our feeling. Let me now say how ardently I love you. Let me kiss that age-worn cheek. And should my tears bedew thy face, I will wipe them away. Oh, I never can forget you. No, never, never. Weep not, said the father, Ambulinia. I will forbid Alfonso my house, and desire that you may keep retired a few days. I will let him know that my friendship for my family is not linked together by cankered chains, and if he ever enters upon my premise again, I will send him to his long home. O Father, let me entreat you to be calm upon this occasion, and though Alfonso may be the sport of the clouds and winds, yet I feel assured that no fate will send him to the silent tomb until the God of the universe calls him hence with a triumphant voice. Here the father turned away, exclaiming, I will answer his letter in a very few words, and you, madame, will have the goodness to stay at home with your mother, and remember, I am determined to protect you from the consuming fire that looks so fair to your view. Cummings, January 22nd, 1844. Sir, in regard to your request, I am, as I ever have been, utterly opposed to your marrying into my family. And if you have any regard for yourself or any gentlemanly feeling, I hope you will mention it to me no more, but seek some other one who is not so far superior to you in standing. W.W. Valier. And you even see this from people that kind of otherwise would hold the biblical view of the Christian side is no divorce at all. I mean, literally, that's the biblical teaching. And a lot of churches didn't allow this, even a full century later. They were a lot more tolerant, even of people committing adultery, which that really doesn't make any sense. But then, no, you can't get married again, or we've all decided now that you only have one spouse, even though the Bible only, for example, says that a bishop can't be polygamous. So from a bishop on up, because obviously you can't, you can be polygamous afterwards? I guess technically you can once you get a higher rank, but what if you get moved down, be a bishop again, I'm just saying the rules that this society has. I don't necessarily, I think people should be allowed divorce. I think if it's consensual, polygamy should be allowed. When Alfonso read the above letter, he became so much depressed in spirits that many of his friends thought it advisable to use other means to bring about the happy union. Strange, said he, that the contents of this diminutive letter should cause me to have such depressed feelings, but there is a nobler theme than this. I know not why my military title is not as great as that of Squire Valier. For my life, I cannot see that my ancestors are inferior to those who are so bitterly opposed to my marriage with Ambulinia. I know I have seen huge mountains before me, yet when I think I know this gentleman will insult me, that I know gentlemen will insult me upon this delicate matter, Should I become angry at fools and babblers who pride themselves in their impudence and ignorance? No, my equals, I know not where to find them. My inferiors, I think it beneath me, and my superiors, I think it presumption. Therefore, if this youthful heart is protected by any of the divine rights, I never will betray my trust. And that trust is the woman, right? He was aware that Ambulinia had a confidence that was indeed as firm and as resolute as she was beautiful and interesting. He hastened to the cottage of Louisa, who received him in her usual mode of pleasantness, and informed him that Ambulinia had just that moment left. Is it possible? Said Alfonso. Oh, murdered hours! Why did she not remain and be the guardian of my secrets? But hasten and tell me, how has she stood this trying scene, and what are her future determinations? You know, said Louisa, Major Alfonso, that you have Ambulinia's first love, which is of no small consequence. She came here about twilight, shed many precious tears in consequence of her own fate with yours. We walked silently in yon little valley you see, where we spent a momentary repose. She seemed to be quite as determined as ever, and before, as we left that beautiful spot, she offered up a prayer to heaven for thee. I will see her then, replied Alfonso. Though legions of enemies may oppose, she is mine by foreordination, she is mine by prophecy, she is mine by her own free will, and I will rescue her from the hands of her oppressors. Will you not, Miss Louisa, assist me in my capture? I will certainly, by the aid of divine providence, answered Louisa, endeavor to break those slavish chains that bind the richest of prizes, though allow me, Major, to entreat you to use no harsh means on this important occasion, and take a decided stand and write freely to Ambulinia upon this subject, and I will see that no intervening cause hinders its passage to her. God alone will save a mourning people. Now is the day, and now is the hour to obey a command of such valuable worth. The Major felt himself grow stronger after this short interval with Louisa. He felt as if he could whip his weight in wildcats. He knew he was a master of his own feelings, and could now write a letter that would bring this litigation to an issue. And we'll get into that letter next time. Okay. But it's status, wealth, those are valid reasons to marry or not marry, but let's protect the consent of those involved. Let's look at this. Well, I mean, this is fiction, of course, but let's look at these matters and say that as long as the people are treating each other right, as long as they're the good character and stuff, let people get married and don't stand in the way.